Black Friday at 10:10 in the morning, the FBI seized Full Tilt, PokerStars, Absolute Poker, seized their website, their companies, their bank accounts, and all their player funds, billions of dollars. I looked at my phone, I'm like, wait, mine's still, I didn't get in trouble. That moment, I just lost $65 million overnight.
You're one of the youngest entrepreneurs to take a company public.
So it was exactly 20 years ago that I went public. It was May 18th in 2005. It takes 2 years and $2 million to go public.
Bitcoin right now is about $115,000 and $114,000. Is that something that you invest in?
It's 350 times more expensive, and I'm still a buyer today. Why?
Welcome to the King's Code Podcast. My name is Raul Velasquez, and I have here the pleasure and the honor to host Dan Fleyshman in the podcast. Thank you, brother, for coming in.
My pleasure. Happy to do it.
I just heard you over the stage.
Fresh off the
Inspire
stage.
Tour.
Pumped up.
And you're one of the youngest entrepreneurs to take a company public.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that experience, because I'm curious to know, like how did you have the mindset to actually start launching that at your young age?
So it was exactly 20 years ago that I went public. It was May 18th in 2005. And it was actually April 1st that we went public, but May 18th when we did the official. So what happened was it takes 2 years and $2 million to go public. Accounting, legal, auditors, everything. And the reason for it was I had an idea for an energy drink. And I'd already sold a lot of clothing, millions and millions and millions, tens of millions of dollars of clothing. And I wanted to launch an energy drink. That takes a lot of money. And so going public allows you to have access to capital and access to the world, right? And then using those stocks and shares to have credibility to be able to do deals, trade, entice employees and executives to come work with you, do deals with grocery store chains, NASCAR deals. It all came from having a public company. And so investment bankers helped us go through the process, and it was a whirlwind because social media wasn't a thing back then. This is 2005, so we had MySpace, right? Like that was about it. But that helped us edify us. So when I go to meetings with Ralph's, Costco, Save-Ons, Albertsons, all these chain stores.
Yeah, leverage.
Yeah, a publicly traded company, of course they can trust us because they know how hard it is paperwork-wise to do that.
So it was more of a strategic move at that moment, just to make sure you get in the game.
We had to stand out. There was 900 other energy drinks. How are we going to stand out?
That's one of the toughest industries.
Yes, I don't recommend
energy
it.
drink is a huge market, but it's a tough market to get in.
Well, you're up against 800-pound gorillas and a whole army of them. Red Bull, Monster, Rockstar, Full Throttle. There's a lot of these drinks that have infinite money, doing billions and billions of dollars each. How are you supposed to fight with them?
Yeah.
They're paying for the shelf space. If you come take their shelf space, they'll pay for your product to come out. They did it to me over and over. And so it's a very tough space, but that means you don't have to try. If you want to try, you go try.
So what was the mindset like at that moment? What were you thinking about? Was it more like, you know what, I'm gonna shoot my shot and see what happens, or was it like, if this fails, that's it, I'm done? So
I analyzed the market. All of them had the same flavor, which tastes like cough syrup, because their main ingredient is called taurine, and that has that cough syrup flavor. How can I better tasting drink to stand out for the repeat orders? But who's gonna buy it the first time to know that it tastes better? So one, I wanted to find the chemist from Gatorade, because Gatorade tastes good. So I found the chemist from Gatorade, 73-year-old guy that I tracked down back then. He helped me make a really good tasting formula: cranberry, pineapple, and green tea. Next, how am I gonna stand out? Well, they're full of sugar. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, 0 calories. I was the first one to do 0, 0, 0. Next, how do I make everyone know that I taste good? I submitted to all the beverage magazines, and we won Flavor of the Year against the 900 drinks that submitted to BevNet magazines. We got the cover. I took that magazine, I bought 1,000 copies, and I carried them with me everywhere. So every meeting I went with, I'm Flavor of the Year. Of course they're gonna buy from me. It wasn't a question if they're gonna buy from me, it's how many are you gonna buy, right? And so I wanted to stand out. They're $2.99, I'm $1.99. They've got 8.4 ounces, I make 8.4 ounces and 16 ounces. Oh, they make 16 ounces now? I make a 5-hour energy shot, right? I make a small one, 5 ounces. And so whatever they're doing, I'm adjusting to make myself stand out. So I'm not gonna go fight with them toe to toe. I can't go beat Mike Tyson toe to toe. I gotta figure out how to get a knife or a gun or a slingshot from far away.
The David against Goliath.
Exactly.
And
literally.
And part of understanding how to beat Goliath is knowing that you have the advantage.
Yes.
If you know how to adapt
Yep.
and adjust.
Yep.
Because most of these these companies, they don't know how to adapt. They know how to
They're
adjust.
too big and too slow.
Yeah. So what happened? Did you sell the company, or you still?
So I got into 55,000 retail stores over the next 4 years, 2005, 2009. I didn't sleep. I just knocked on the door of all these stores. And then on the 10-year anniversary, I resigned from the company. We've been public for half a decade. I've been running around, every random market in the country to get my drinks out there. I wanted another feather in my cap. So I did that for 10 years. And I already had a liquidity event when we went public. So it was a good run.
So did the market affected you when the market crashed? Was like the 09, 08 market? How did that affect you?
So energy drinks didn't have an impact because our price point was so low. We were at $2 a drink. We actually ended up making, because of the market, a 99-cent drink. I called it 99 degrees. I wish I still had that drink today. I thought about bringing it back. 99 degrees was just a bright blue, bright red can with a thermometer exploding that said 99 degrees, and it was 99 cents. And that was because I want to make an affordable drink that there's no other energy drinks in 99-cent stores.
Got it.
Red Bull, Monster, and Rockstar can't sell to them. It's too cheap.
Yeah.
It'll hurt their brand. I don't want to hurt my brand either. So I made my own 99-cent brand.
Got it. So you adapted at the market.
Yeah.
So when you sold it, what happened? What did you decide to do after that? Once you exit that?
So I started an online poker company. I loved poker, and I saw a void in the market. There's 550 poker sites, but there wasn't like a cool site. So I made Victory Poker, and I went and signed Poker Pros, Playboy Playmates, DJ Steve Aoki, all these interesting characters to be the faces, Dan Bilzerian. They became the faces of the poker site because they were cool, unique characters, and that's how I stood out. Because again, 800-pound gorillas, poker stars, full tilt, etc., $4 million a day, $8 million a day in revenue. I started the whole company with $2.4 million. That's what they do in freaking half a day.
Yeah.
And so I had to get creative. So that's why I signed the Dan Bilzerian, Steve Aoki, and all the Playboy girls to make us stand out.
So you started seeing all the trends, like, from the first company, the energy drinks, you started seeing the trends of really like how to beat the Goliath,
Yes.
right? Now you're in the market of influencers, right?
Yep.
So now, once you got all these influencers to promote your company, because back then social media wasn't that big.
Yeah.
Then you pivoted into really bringing in influencers
Yes.
to promote your companies.
Yes. So those poker people I just mentioned, those DJs and those characters, Twitter just started. Instagram was about to be started. Like they all started coming out in 2010, 2011. Like these platforms started to gain some popularity and notoriety back then. We were making YouTube videos. Like social media was getting going in 2009, 10, 11. But the word influencer didn't come for half a decade. I started my social media agency in 2011, 14 years ago.
So when you started your agency, the people like get on board, or they were just laughing that social media wasn't a thing? Because I was one of those guys at the beginning, like, who was Facebook?
Yeah.
Like, I don't need Facebook. I was back in my BlackBerry. Like, I
Right.
was stuck in my BlackBerry. I don't want
Right.
to change to Apple, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes we're stuck in those ways. 2011, I remember, with the market crashing in 08, we're just coming back in 2009, 2011. I was in the real estate industry. The market has crashed. So it was hard to adapt to a new world with social media.
So the brands were the ones that were hard to talk to, not the influencers. The influencers didn't know they were influencers. I just went to them and said, can I pay you to post about this phone? Can I pay you to post about these bracelets and these rings? Can I pay you from this watch company? Of course. And I could pick any number because who the hell knows? You can still kind of pick numbers now.
Yeah.
But back then you really had no idea. It was the wild, wild west. And so the brands were the hard ones to convince, like, hey, let's pay this person $2,000 to post to their 1 million followers. And then, what? But
So
back
they
then,
didn't get it.
no.
The brands were the ones who like.
Most of them still don't get it.
Yeah.
So influencers are still the cheapest CPM rate of all marketing by far. Because you can pay someone $500 that gets you 100,000 views. But if you got 100,000 views on any other thing, TV, radio, billboard, et cetera, you're paying 8, 10, 12, 15 times that price.
So you started also a funding company. You started an investment company, I mean.
Yep.
And you have over 40 companies that you're
Yep.
partnering.
Yep.
How do you manage all that? Like, 40 companies. I run, 2-3 companies. 40 companies. I'm sure you're not the operator.
I'm
of
not
40
running them.
companies.
I don't want to pretend that I am. I am what I call the coach, and then there are quarterbacks that are running them. And most of the companies don't need me very often. So I have what's called the 4 horsemen: my CEO, my lawyer, my accountant, and my advisor. And the advisor is interchangeable. The other 3 are not. So the advisor might be specific to black shirts because they know clothing. The advisor might be specific to selling bungee cords, to jump out of an airplane or whatever. So I bring in an advisor that knows this category. But my CEO, my lawyer, and my accountant, they don't ever change. I've had the same ones for many, 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 many years. The 4 horsemen are what make me decide if I'm going to invest into a company, and then also oversee the company once I've invested, so that they make sure that they protect us. They're the 4 horsemen. I then only invest into a company that has a quarterback. I'm the coach, they're the quarterback. I need someone I believe is ride or die. When things get hard, because in every company they're going to get hard, will this person fight through it? If something happens at a convention and water breaks and the thing is flooded, are they going to go cry about it and go hide, or are they going to go get the mops and fix it? Right? What are they going to do in those hard moments? Because hard moments happen. And then, do people care about this person's product? Are people buying it? That's how we know if they care. And so I'm finding people that are ride or die. They have a product that's people care about and it's scalable. And if they have those things, I want to invest into them.
When you start looking at investment in companies, are you looking at certain industries, or are you just open to any industry as long as they have the right people around you?
I'm only open to industries that I can help. Food and beverage, consumer products. You sell shirts with hearts on them, I can sell a lot of those. You're a surgeon that does heart surgery, I can't really help you. God bless you, thank you for doing that.
You stick to your niche. You know your strengths, you know your niche, and you know where you could bring value to.
The very difference between a strategic investor and dumb money. I could dumb money invest into things. Here's 100 grand. Good luck, right? Call me later or never, right? Strategic investor is, I'm going to help you do this. Use my paid media guy. I can put you on 10 podcasts. Hey, my friend's going to put you on the news. I'm useful for that person when I can help them. The doctor that does surgery, God bless him, what am I going to do for them?
So what has been your biggest investment that you made to give you the biggest return, and the worst investment that you made that you lost money on?
Everbull will be my best investment. I put in $500K in 2018. I raised them $5 million in 2019. There was around 13 stores when I invested. I raised money in that 23 stores. Now there's 104 stores. 1 new store every 6 days. And a lot more have already been paid for. So there's hundreds of stores coming. So that will be my best, because I got in when there was 13. But that's called unrealized gains. Means I don't physically have it now, but
until you sell it into like a public,
yes.
and then you.
But there has been funding rounds that justify my valuation of a lot more than when I invested and when my friends invested. My mastermind members invested 2019. Fast forward to now, it's a much bigger company, 6 times bigger, 7 times bigger. So that's going to be my best. Maybe there's other ones, but that's the one I'm most passionate about, and I know for sure because we made it a low risk. There's no debt, and it's very inexpensive to open stores. So nothing can really bad happen to that business. And we already went through COVID, so it survived that.
And people love sweets.
So good.
I mean, I just came back from Italy, and in every corner there's a gelato.
For sure.
And I'm from Ecuador, Latin America, and you go to Latin America, there's always an ice cream place in everywhere. So the same thing, like you're in a great market, because it doesn't matter what happens with the recession or the economy, people want to eat.
Yeah, for sure.
They want to fulfill that sweet tooth.
Yep.
So what's the worst investment?
The worst one was frustrating. It was a healthier pizza brand, and we put in millions of dollars. The company was already doing $16 million in sales. It was in most major chain stores. But unfortunately, one of the founders got very sick. And when that happened, it lost a lot of the lifeblood of it. And the new person came in, they weren't that great. And then other people came in, tried to advise it and redirect it, and ultimately it went bankrupt.
Was it family? Like the people who came in after was like usually?
I don't even know them, that's the problem, compared to when I really knew the people.
Yeah.
And so it was such a good brand, such a good product. People loved it. Like, we reinvested again because it was so good. And unfortunately, sometimes things happen like that, that it's not necessarily the person, but when your main quarterback is not there anymore, it's hard to win the game.
Yeah.
And so I don't regret my investment, obviously. I would do it 10 out of 10 times.
Plus what you learned from it probably, taught you so many lessons.
Yeah. So there's some scenarios where it's, it can happen. But I do think about that one because it's like, it was so good. It was, it was
It
right
could have
there.
been.
Yeah.
It could have been. It could have been a home run.
Yeah. It could have gone from 16 million to 100 million in a blink of an eye.
Because pizzas, man, that's like
Of
printing
course,
money.
exactly.
It's printing money.
Nothing's better than pizza.
So did you ever invest, as I was asking you this question, I was thinking about my worst investments and where I lost money in. And I was thinking about NFTs.
Yep.
Did you ever invest in NFTs?
Oh yeah, for sure.
What do you think about it? Did you lose money? Did you make money? That you still believe? Because I'm holding a bunch of NFTs.
Yeah.
And that at one point they were worth a lot of money. Right. Now they're just nostalgic,
Yep. So I made a lot of money in between, so I can't lose money overall. Meaning, there's some things that I bought that had a big rise and I sold off, I'm not saying I timed it perfectly, but I did well. That covers everything else. With VFriends, with Gary Vee, there was it was called the gifting goats.
Yeah.
I bought the gifting goats for like $4,000. I think I sold them for like 100 grand, 120 grand, and I sold 4 of them. So all of a sudden,
you made money, so you were playing with house money.
Right. So I put in 20K to buy 5 of them at 4K each, right around there. I sold 4 of them for like 400,000 around there because it was 100 to 120K each, and I kept one to just keep getting the gifting from whatever. And I bought a bunch of other NFTs. But like I think about things like that. I bought from certain friends that Steve Aoki or Logan Paul that do an NFT. I didn't buy in knowing or thinking I'm going to make money. I'm doing it to support them in their mission. And if it works out, fantastic. With some of them, I'll sell. If something goes up a lot, I usually sell 50% or 100%. I want to basically de-risk. And there's other times I'm just gambling, right? If I'm only throwing in $5,000 on something, getting my $5,000 back is not as cool as like, what if it makes 100K or 200K? If I lose it, it's a 1-to-1 loss ratio. So if I lose 5K, I'm going to survive. But if I get it right once in a blue moon, and it does 20 or 30X, oh, God bless it. Okay, great. And so I did both, where sometimes I was just taking my money back or taking a big profit and free rolling the rest. Other times I was just like, let's gamble, let's hold on to it and see what happens.
Let's take the risk.
Yeah.
Let's take the risk. And what about crypto? Right? I heard you talking about Bitcoin and Ethereum at one point. What are your beliefs in crypto? Do you think that's something that's going to stay? I mean, Bitcoin right now is about $115,000, $114,000. Is that something that you invest in?
Yep. So I installed the first Bitcoin ATMs in America, 2014, at the D Hotel, the casino in Las Vegas. So you'll see a news article of me pushing a Bitcoin machine ATM into that casino. 6 months of arguing and explaining to mayors and governors and casino owners why Bitcoin matters. It was $340. It's 350 times more expensive, and I'm still a buyer today. 350 times, one of the best investments in human history, I'm still a buyer. Why? Because of supply and demand. Supply is getting less and less and less because people are losing their phones, people are losing their wallets, people are losing their lives. So 4.6 million Bitcoin are missing. And every day, a little bit more Bitcoin will be missing as people lose their phones, lose their wallets, lose their lives. And so from the supply perspective, the fact that it's going to go down over the course of time and the demand is clearly going up, that's why you see year after year, it's only had 2 losing years in 15 years because the supply gets less, the demand gets more, naturally the price rises.
What about Ethereum? What do you think about Ethereum?
So I did the very first news article about Ethereum in 2017. So you can put my name in the word Ethereum and you'll see the MSN, Forbes, Inc. And I said the same thing I say now. It was $19 back then. It's $4,500 now. It's hard to even fathom that huge of a thing. That Ethereum, if I cared about it then when it was, no one knew what the hell I was talking about, why wouldn't I like it now when it's finally mainstream and it's powering most of the NFTs? And so ultimately, you guys can hear the Aspire tour in the background. Ultimately, when I look at it, things like that, when it's a functional thing that powers NFTs or powers the backend for companies, that's what I want to invest into. The same way I would a company, I look at Ethereum like a company.
So you're very bullish on it. You really.
It's for sure.
So if you had the opportunity right now to invest real estate or Bitcoin or Ethereum, what would you do?
Yes.
Which one?
Yes. My answer is all of them. The thing is, like, I don't ever go all in on one thing. And if, let's say I love Apple, Apple would be one of the best companies in human history, I wouldn't only buy Apple. I wouldn't.
So you want to diversify.
Always.
So that's your game, is diversification, like moving in different places.
My other speech, I have 2 speeches. You heard the personal brand one. My other speech is called 40-40-20. 40% low risk, 40% medium risk, 20% high risk.
By the way, that's the first time I heard you speak on that speech, and I loved it. And my son was there at that event. Was the Man on the Arena
Oh, yes.
tour,
Yeah.
and he loved it. He was like, "That is exactly."
Because you can understand it.
He
Yeah.
understands that. And he was walking around asking people like, "Where do you invest money on?"
Yeah.
So he's made most of his money that he has is in Ethereum and Bitcoin.
That's awesome.
He invested when he was 10 years old. He's 19 now. So the
Oh my
last 10
gosh.
years is like he's been.
Oh my gosh.
So now we just bought a house.
Yeah.
We took some money out to buy an investment house, and now we're gonna flip the house. I want to take the profits. I want to put it
back in. Yep, I love it.
Crypto. So he loves it.
Yeah. So between real estate, Ethereum, Bitcoin, the answer is yes. You just put in bits and pieces into things you can afford, and you split it up. You don't have to. I would never recommend going all in on any one thing, no matter how passionate you are.
So you master the money game. You master making money. You know how to make money. You know how to invest. And one of the things that I do is I coach men on what I call finding the edge.
Yeah.
Do you ever look back in your life and you felt, man, I lost the edge at one point? And if you felt like, man, or I went to a depression or a dark time, when was that time?
So the day of online poker was shut down was called Black Friday. It was April 15th, about 14 years ago. Black Friday at 10:10 in the morning, the FBI seized Full Tilt, PokerStars, Absolute Poker, seized their websites, their companies, their bank accounts, and all their player funds, billions of dollars. I looked at my phone, I'm like, wait, mine's still, I didn't get in trouble. Phew, I don't really know what they did. I know I didn't do anything bad. And so I started researching and find out that they were miscoding the merchant transactions. So you deposited $2,000 on PokerStars, it would say PS3. I deposited $800, it would say flowers.org. Like it would just, they were miscoding merchant transactions. Mine just said Victory Poker, and that was it. I only had one merchant account, and Wells Fargo was helping me. So that moment, I just lost $65 million overnight.
Wow.
I had 5 employees. I'm doing 6 figures a day in gross revenue, a day, with 5 employees. I'm living in a 2-bedroom apartment in Malta by myself, so I have no overhead. And I've got 6 figures a day in gross revenue coming in, and all of a sudden, I got to close it down. They didn't make me close it down. I did it because I wasn't sure what the hell was happening in the whole market, and I didn't want them to come after me in case was I doing something the wrong way? I don't know. So to be safe, I closed it down. I paid back 41,000 players by April 19th, 4 days later, and the next day I was like, so now what? I just lost $65 million overnight. What do I do next? And so that was the best thing that ever happened to me. I launched my charity that week. I launched my agency for social media. I launched my live events called Elevator Nights. All of that stemmed the first few weeks after losing everything.
So you lost $65 million. Walk me through that day at that moment. Like, did you feel like, fuck, like I can't come back from this. This is the end. Like, what? Like, I want to know that Dan at that moment. What was he thinking, and how did you snap out of it? Because I know men who can recoup. You know, guys who lose $1 million and they're depressed for fucking years.
And they go jump. That's the problem. Yeah. So a lot of people in my industry jumped. You know, people ended up dead or in jail. And I had this thing in my head that I say all the time: don't sit on the floor and cry about it. I had every reason. I had 65 million reasons to sit on the floor and cry about it. But instead, I jumped right into action of, how do I pay back all the players? How do I put it out on social media? I want to do news interviews and show people, look, I'm with Wells Fargo. I got KPMG accounting. All your players' funds are safe. I'm returning it all. Like, I went on the offensive instead of the defensive.
Got it. So you went ahead of it. You were not staying, waiting to see what happens. You went ahead of the game.
I don't know what could have happened. If I stayed there, I might have got arrested, even though I didn't do something wrong. By default or association of being a poker site, I could have gotten in trouble. Who knows? And so by going in the aggressive, like, I'm paying everybody back. Here's, literally, I was showing my bank account on Twitter. Look, here's the player funds. We're withdrawing it right now. Come here, withdraw your money right this second. We're sending all the money. I didn't have to do that. But by going on the offensive doing that, it changed everything. And because it was such a whirlwind for those 4 days, I never actually got to cry about it. I never had to cry about it because I was moving forward and I was fixing stuff and I was doing news interviews and paying players back and doing phone calls. Like, by staying in action, it kept me from.
You turned that pain into fucking fuel.
Literally.
Like you had no other choice.
No.
Were you married at that point?
No.
You were single, so you didn't have to do it for anybody else. You just did it because that's what you you were wired to continue to move forward.
Fixing it kept me busy.
Does that drive come from, like, how was your childhood? Like, were your parents like driven? Did they? I'm trying to understand, how did you come up with that? Because that's not normal. Normal people don't like lose $65 million
normal
and
is not
just
my.
like all of a sudden, let's continue to move forward.
Yeah.
You know, so what was that? What do you think that drive came from? Was it parents, upbringing? When you were younger, did you get bullied? Like, what? Walk me through to see if I can understand how Dan was created.
I started early. I was 4 years old to 8 years old. For those first 4 years, I was selling baseball cards on the swap meet every weekend. My parents were selling Levi's jeans out of the back of a van.
Where?
At the swap meet here in El Cerritos. I'm sorry, not here, in LA. I've been flying around too much. And literally every single weekend, I'd sell my little baseball cards. They were selling jeans. And then as soon as I got to school, I started selling candy out of a Ziploc bag. My mom was my backer. She gave me $13. And every week I had to bring her back $13, and I would flip it to 23 to 32. And That's how I made money to go start buying my own candy. I expanded to cereal boxes, little cereal boxes. Boom, started selling those for $1 each. Bought them for 17 cents. Like, I had to. We didn't have any money. We're selling jeans on the back of a van, and so.
But did you know as a young age that you didn't have any money, or was it fun for you? For you, like
The game was fun.
that's what I'm saying. For you, it wasn't about survival.
If you and
For
I,
you was a game of can I do this?
if you and I, right this second, had a scenario where someone's like, "Hey, can you help us move this from here over there? I'll pay you guys $1,200." That's the game for me. Our cost per hour is a lot more than $1,200, right?
Just the drive.
For coaching, business, masterminds, whatever. But the game to me is like, okay, I'm free right now. It's 5 in the morning. I'm going to go do this thing. I would do it right this second because of the game of making $1,200. I would then hand the $1,200 to a homeless person for all I care. It doesn't matter about the money, the game of it.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm still so active with all these different companies and deals and blah, 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 blah. I sell blueberries, I sell sports cards, whatever, because I like the game of it. And so.
And did that drive came, like, so your mother or your father, who was the entrepreneur in your family? Was that your mom or your dad?
Didn't have it. My dad was driving a taxi. My mom worked at Century 21, and then she worked for a charity for the family services, like for senior citizens. My brother was always the white, white picket fence and suit and tie. He's the accountant. He's running my accounting firm, his accounting firm, running an accounting firm for me in my life. If he retires, I retire. Literally, if he retires, I won't do it.
Older brother or younger brother?
Much older, yeah. 13 years older.
So you're the baby?
Yeah.
So you were the baby of the family,
Yeah.
hustling out there. The older brother is kind of like making sure he has a straight and narrow path.
He was a wrestler, goes to college. I'm the young crazy entrepreneur, didn't go to college. Like, we're very opposite, but he runs my life. His
Are your
team.
parents still alive?
My dad is not. My mom is, yeah.
When did your father pass away?
A long time ago.
Long time. How old were you?
I'm not sure. I think early 20s.
Did you have a good relationship with your dad?
I didn't really see him much. They got divorced when I was 8, and there was a big gap where I didn't see him. And then once I was able to drive around and things like that, I would go.
So I think that's where the 80-year-old version of you, losing your father at a young age, did that change you, like to become the man that you are right now? Did that
Probably.
Was that one of the drives? Like, fuck, I'm gonna fucking show this motherfucker, like I'm gonna be the most successful man that's ever lived. Is that some of that in there?
I just knew that I had to support my mom as much as I could, so I wasn't a burden. And so I had to be self-sufficient, and so I would sell candy. I would write people's essays for them or do their homework for them for $10, $20. Like, I would do anything to make money.
So you were supporting your mom. You
wasn't-
didn't want to be a burden.
I didn't want to be a burden. It's not like I was making her hundreds of dollars a week or something, but I didn't ask her for anything, and she obviously kept me alive and fed me and things like that. And she always figured it out. And she's the only person I talk to every day still to this day.
Do you believe that your mom right now is looking at you like, I'm so fucking proud of this man that he has become?
Yeah, I'm her pride and joy because it allows her to then tell the stories to her friends at the senior citizen home. It allows her to watch. I send her my baby videos. I send her my speech today. Everything I send to her because it keeps her excited.
See, I believe that, like men, sometimes they say that we're mama's boys, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there is the masculine energy feeds off the feminine energy. Like, so at a man's point, we have to come to a conclusion where, what do we live for? We have to live for something, right? And it's the protection of the feminine energy. In this case, your mother, now your daughter, right? So when you were 80 years old and your father, wasn't in your life anymore, there was a reframe in your mind where you had to become the man.
Mm-hmm.
You had to become the man of the family.
Yes.
So at what point did you, or maybe you didn't, have that conversation with your father when you actually healed that part?
Never happened.
Never happened.
He was living in a hospital for 6 years, going through dialysis for his diabetes. And so every time I saw him, he was in a hospital bed. And so that's part of what, that's burning in my mind, that he didn't take care of himself and he was in that scenario, and watching him with regret. It's part of why I do so many different things. I don't want to be there.
That's where, as I'm talking to you, that's some of the patterns of the guys that I coach. We're so fucking driven.
Mm-hmm.
There's a drive, there's a fire, there's a sense of like, I'm gonna conquer the world. But inside, the healing aspect of the not being enough.
Yep.
Right? The father, not being enough for my father, not being enough for my mother, not being enough for the world. So I believe that there's still opportunities for us as men to heal that child, to heal that version, that 8-year-old. Because my story is is intriguing what happens between 8 to 10 to men like us. Because the trigger that happens when I see the pattern, something that happens between 8 to 10 to 11 years old to men, like we go from boys to becoming men.
Yep.
Like I came to this country when I was 11 years old. And I had to become a man,
Sure.
coming from Ecuador to here. I was bullied in school. I didn't speak English. My parents didn't speak English, so I had to figure my shit out, right? But see, most men, they don't evolve from that place. They actually contract, and that's where they have the victim mentality. Fuck the government, fuck this, fuck America, as opposed to becoming a producer, creator. What you did is that you turned that story around and said, okay, my dad's no longer here. I need to provide for my family. I need to provide for my mother. Now I'm finding my edge. I'm finding what I'm good at. Now the man that you are right now, is there any part of you that feels like if your father was alive, you will be able to heal that, or you think that that's something that was never going to be healed?
I don't know if I want it to be healed. If it makes me who I am, it's part of my driving force. And I don't know what the other version of me is. Whether it's better or worse, slower, faster, I don't know. And I like my craziness. I like my fire.
One of the things that in my journey when I went to a depression, my biggest fear is, who am I without the fire?
Mm-hmm.
Who am I without the fucking conquering the world?
I don't want to be complacent.
And there is a version of us that fire that you have, and I believe that is gonna come from it comes from a different place, because now you have a daughter,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I just dropped off my daughter. I don't want to say where, because
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of people who watch this. They just say that she's in college.
Yep.
As I dropped her off, I was filled with emotion of fear and love at the same time. Fear because, like, fuck, now my little girl, she's on
Right.
her own. Love because I know that I've poured onto her, right? But you know what the most important thing for me was? When I was in my darkest moments, when I was drinking half a bottle of tequila, like, I will look at her. I will look in her eyes and I'll ask her a question. What do you see? And she'll look at me and she will grab my face. She says, I see my daddy. I see love. I see my daddy. I couldn't see myself in the mirror, but my daughter was able to see me. As kids, we come into this world to help our parents heal. And then we have kids that help us heal. I want to make a prediction that your daughter is going to help you heal that relationship with your dad when you start seeing how she sees you.
I'm probably gonna retire then.
And you're
don't
going to
mind.
come back with a fire that is even bigger than you ever had before. Because the fire that you have now for your daughter, because I've seen the post that you have with your daughter, and I see the connection that you have.
She's my screensaver.
She's your world. And the same energy that you have with her, there is a father and son energy. That once you have that healing aspect with your dad, it's fucking game over, Dan. It's a whole different fucking level. It's a fucking whole different level. So I'm excited to see your journey.
Whole nother level sounds scary.
So now let's switch a conversation to the compelling future that you have right now for all your companies.
Yep.
Like, what's the vision that you have right now for your company?
I'm in full-fledged scale mode. I'm not trying to start new stuff. I want to scale what's existing. I have my elevator events, which is my 6 different event brands. That I'm scaling the Man in the Arena tour, scaling the Operation Black Site, the military training at my ranch, scaling the real estate mastermind, scaling elevator nights. Like, scaling my things, my live events is, because as we get more and more AI and more social media, people want human interaction.
Yeah.
And so I'm pushing harder than ever on live events. And looking at the things that are going on in my world, I'm scaling the toy drive. I have the world's largest toy drive. I want to make it the universe's largest toy drive. Like, I want to scale the things that are going on in my world because I feel like I can see the matrix now.
And you have a special gift. Like, when I see your stuff that you have, man, you punch, like, you're breaking through some innovation. Like, tell me about recently when I saw on social media that you're selling your ranch for $50 million. That should sound like you giving it away.
Yep.
Like when I saw it, what the fuck is this guy doing? I'm
That's
like,
a good
man,
question.
So tell us about it. How did that come out?
It's $6 for a ticket. People can also register for free.
So if I could buy a ticket for $6 and I could possibly win a $50 million ranch.
Yeah, literally. And I can't pick either. It's a technology that does all the picking. So there's 103 prizes total. Car, motorcycle, watches, iPads, headphones, all these different prizes. Grand prize being the ranch. Anyone can enter for free. It's ranchraffle.com. Or they can buy, bundle packages and things like that to get more tickets. The idea came from the fact that I just couldn't sell the ranch for not for the price I wanted, for what I wanted to do, who the buyer is. 5 different developers made me offers, but they want to put $2 million down, $3 million down, me carry the note, me be the bank, let's JV, let's partner. I don't want to do that. If I was going to do that, I'll do it with a developer I know. Why am I going to do it with a random developer? No offense to the 5 developers, but I don't really know if I want to do 4 years of building.
Most of the time, it doesn't pay out. Yeah. Most of the time, you end up taking it back.
And so I just had to get creative. There wasn't some random tech billionaire buying the ranch. There wasn't some baseball player I'm going to buy ranch. And so I saw an article about this raffle thing going on in the UK and Ireland. Lady couldn't sell her house and raffled it off for $2.3 million. 2.5 times what she wanted for the house. So I researched all the 11 different companies and found the right one called Real Fall. I hit them up hey, is this possible? Would we do it? And what's my risk? If we don't hit $15 million, what happens? They said, well, let's say you only get to 4 million. The winner gets 50% in cash. Sign me up. So my worst case scenario is a winner's gonna get millions of dollars. Sweet. And so I decided to try it out. I'm doing it for charity. So if I go over my number, 100% goes to charity, to the toy drive. And it's just another crazy marketing thing that if it works, fantastic. There's no risk to it. The technology does all the payouts. So everything about it is just fun.
Man, you're like an innovator when it comes to charity and giving back. I mean, right now you have the biggest toy drive.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So we're going to our 12th year, and we've done SoFi Stadium, we've done Miami Heat Arena, we've done all these places, but this year I'm going nuts. 10 cities, 19 days. I got BMO Stadium in LA, December 13th. Here in New Jersey, I'm literally going to meet with American Dream Mall today, to go do a walkthrough. I got 119,000 toys committed from one donator. He's about to speak at 4 o'clock here, Sean Callaghy. And so I know I got 119,000 toys from one guy. I've got 9 other cities to go, and I'm just going to try to break every record possible that I've ever done.
Man, and this is the drive that you have. You want to give, you want to contribute, you want to bring things to the marketplace. And what is the message you will give the young Dan? If you could see him 11, 12, the one that was hustling, trying to make things happen, what would be that message for him?
Sign contracts with everyone, including your mom. And it's not that you're going to sue your mom. It's that we don't communicate enough. Let's say Raul and I are going to start blacktshirts.com. You might think it's 50-50. I might think it's 80-20 in your favor. We don't know because we never said it. You might think that I'm manufacturing the shirts with my friend, and I think for sure you're going to do it, and we don't know that because we never put it on paper. You think I'm going to run the paid ads because Dan knows social media. I'm like, wait a minute. No, I know influencer marketing. I actually don't know paid media. You do. And we just didn't talk about it. And so the contract concept is just saying, make a memorandum of understanding or a scope of work and explain, what do you think black t-shirts are, Raul? What does Dan think they are? And let's put it out there. If I do this, this happens. If I do this, this happens. This is how much equity you have. We just don't do that enough because we're just all right, let's start a company together.
Because we're entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
We're visionaries. Yeah. We're fucking dreamers.
Yeah.
And we want to make things happen. And it's funny you say that because I did a contract for my son when he went to college. And I had a clear agreement of what I'm expecting from him, the consequences. When my daughter went to college, I didn't have a contract. And then here I am calling her at 2 a.m, because I see her location. I'm like, what are you doing out at 2 a.m. like that? This is college. I'm like,
yeah.
That's not and then my son was like, did you have a clear agreement with her?
Yeah.
I said, fuck, I didn't have a, so as we speak, I drew up a contract with her. I'm gonna send her over tonight.
I
I'm
like
gonna have
it.
a clear
I love
agreement,
it.
expectations of her in
Yep.
college, because I'm not paying for her to be in a party.
Sure.
Yeah, so it's great. And when you have a daughter, when your daughter goes to college, you
Oh my
know,
gosh.
like, man, you have to have this. You're gonna come back to this conversation, like you have to have a clear agreement to avoid the headaches.
Yeah.
So thank you, brother. It's been an
pleasure.
honor and a pleasure. We're
Absolutely.
gonna continue to do this more.
Sounds good.
And I can't wait to see you
Yes.
at the events that we have coming up.
Yeah, November 8th, Man in the
All right.
Arena tour.
So click on the link below to support the toy drive. Make sure you follow Dan, because this is just the beginning of a beautiful journey, and the best is yet to come. Learn it, live it, experience it, love life.
If you're ready to find the edge, go to kingscodebook.com to get the latest copy of my book, The King's Code. This book will help you find the clarity, the certainty, and the purpose that you need in order for you to lead with power. Go to kingscodebook.com and find your code to the edge now.